Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to review this webinar, Keystone Exams Grade 11 Accountability. The Division of Assessment and Accountability, DAA, in collaboration with the Office of Data Quality, ODQ, are responsible for the PIMS trainings, PIMS attribution map, PIMS attribution rules, and all accountability reporting functions. There is contact information at the end of this presentation, so please feel free to contact us. Who submits data to PIMS? Any entity that teaches a Keystone-related course must assess the student in algebra, biology, and/or literature with an end-of-course Keystone exam. Keystone courses are designated by the LEA. Designating a course as a Keystone course is a local decision and not mandated by PDE. LEAs should look at the content standards for a Keystone course before designating the course to ensure that students have the requisite knowledge to demonstrate proficiency in the Keystone exam. Students taking the Keystone exam must be uploaded to PIMS on the student and enrollment templates. Their enrollment must be inclusive of the internal snapshot date to be included in the data sent to the testing vendor. There are two templates, student and school enrollment, that need to be updated and uploaded in Collection Window 6 to make sure that the data passes the Data Quality Engine rules. Correct data for all students in Grade 11 must be submitted for Keystone Exams Grade 11 Accountability Internal Snapshot. The Keystone Exam Grade 11 Accountability PIM submission is utilized for accountability attribution for Keystone Exam tested results data. Every student who tests in a Keystone exam must be matched back to a PIMS record. It's important that PIMS administrators verify the data has been successfully uploaded by running the pre-snapshot verification reports. Final data must be uploaded by noon on the deadline on the elementary and secondary data collection calendar listed on the PIMS website. Please note that data cannot be corrected after the internal snapshot deadline. This is an overview of the PIMS process for the internal snapshot. The deadline for the Keystone Exams Grade 11 Accountability is noon on the internal snapshot date. All internal snapshot dates are listed in the elementary and secondary data collection calendar located on the PIMS website. In the first of 3 blocks, the graphic begins with PDE sending communication to LEAs reminding them of the internal snapshots. Next, LEAs upload the student and school enrollment templates to PIMS. The LEAs then run the pre-snapshot reports to verify accuracy of the data submitted. There is no correction window. This should all occur before the internal snapshot date. After the deadline, PIMS locks down temporarily to take the internal snapshot and generate the data file that will be sent to the testing vendor's match to master window. There can be no corrections made after this time. Once PIMS reopens, LEAs can run their snapshot reports and accuracy certification statement. This is an overview of the details we will be discussing for the Keystone Exams internal snapshot. It begins with the student in the blue circle, which includes the student's 5 matching criteria. It is very important that the 5 matching criteria are correct because this is how students are linked to test results. This is why there is so much emphasis on getting these fields right. The 5 matching criteria are first name, last name, birth date, PA Secure ID, and grade. Please make sure the student's PA Secure ID is unique to the student. Students with 2 IDs or 2 students sharing 1 ID have to be resolved. Contact the PIMS Application Support Desk for help with PA Secure IDs. The boxes include data about the student, including the student's demographics and school enrollment information. If there are any special characters other than numbers, dashes, and apostrophes, it will cause a mismatch in the testing vendor's system, and the LEA will have to manually match each student. Data from the school enrollment template is used to determine the students who will be included in the internal snapshot. Please pay special attention to the accuracy of the entry withdrawal dates, codes, and grades. Students must have an E or an R enrollment code prior to the internal snapshot date and not be withdrawn prior to the snapshot to be included in that internal snapshot. The demographics for students were embedded in pre-code labels. If the student cannot be matched by using the 5 matching criteria, the student record has to be matched manually to their test record by the LEA. Using student demographics can help LEAs identify unmatched students. These student groups will be listed in your reports for verification. We use state, LEA, and school entry data fields to help identify a full academic year. The date in these fields cannot be a future date and must be in logical order. For more information on these fields, please see PIMS Manual, Volume 1. The following fields will be used during attribution. Please review them for accuracy. Field 117, District Code of Residence, Appendix N of the PIMS Manual, Volume 2. Field 165, Location Code of Residence, is also used during attribution. Full academic year status is an important factor for accountability. The definition of full academic year is a student who is continuously enrolled on or before October 1st of the current school year until the last day of the testing window. All grade 11 students will count for accountability reporting, regardless of when the student took the Keystone exam. A student's grade is reported as the grade in which the student is enrolled at the time of testing, not as of October 1. Students that count for grade 11 accountability include any student who is educated in grade 11 during the current school year and students who skipped grade 11 during their accountability year. If a student who is enrolled as the last day of the testing window is not tested for any reason, this will negatively impact accountability reporting. A student's PA Secure ID must be reported to the testing vendor by only one LEA. When more than one LEA reports a student in the internal snapshot, the following rules will be applied to deduplicate the students. Please review these student scenarios to determine proper attribution. Here are listed a few more of PDE's deduplication rules for attribution. It is extremely important to review fields 1 and 217 and LEA entry date on your student template during this submission. These pre-snapshot reports reflect data loaded into production. They should be run prior to the internal snapshot date. The enrollment pre-snap subgroup comparison report compares all student group data from previous year to current year based on the dates selected. Run the Keystone PSSA warnings, duplicate students reported at other LEAs report to identify students reported at multiple LEAs. Keystone PSSA warnings, reporting district and district of residence defer report should be reviewed for accuracy. The pre-snap assessment subgroup comparison Keystone accountability report displays like an ACS based on your PIMS data prior to the internal snapshot being taken. All pre-snapshot reports should be run and verified prior to this internal snapshot. The following snapshot reports reflect data that was included in the internal snapshot. The Enrollment Snapshot Subgroup Comparison Report compares all student group data from previous year to current year based on the dates selected. The Duplicate Students Reported Detail with Other LEA Report will display students who were reported by multiple LEAs. This report can assist with troubleshooting students who may have been removed by the deduplication process. The LEA will have to run, verify, and submit the Keystone Assessment Subgroup ACS accountability. Please be sure to select the correct internal snapshot date when running this ACS. Please reference the elementary secondary data collection calendar for prior year and current year dates to utilize when running any pre-snap or snapshot report. There are a few resources we would like to point out to you. On PAR's website of the PDE web page, you can find information on Chapter 4, Academic Standards, PA's ESEA Flexibility Waiver, the Attribution Map, and trainings. There is a link to the Future Ready PA Index website, which contains LEA data that PDE uses to report state accountability. Lastly, the PIMS webpage is listed. The PIMS calendar, assessment how-to guide, and the PIMS manuals can be downloaded from this website. A list of contacts are provided if you have questions or need clarification. The Division of Assessment and Accountability can be reached at ra-pas@pa.gov. Please call 800-661-2423 to get assistance from the PIMS Application Support Desk. Lastly, the Office of Data Quality can be emailed at ra-ddqdatacollection@pa.gov. Thank you for reviewing this webinar for Keystone Exams Grade 11 Accountability.